I like to use baseball as an analogy with my sobriety.
You do.
Just because I'm watching something that is a game. It's always been called a game of redeeming features, which is so AA.
You had this moment where you were at a Mets game.
It was after Pete Alonso hit the home run. He was going to be probably his last at bat as a Met. He was going to be looked at as a failure, even though he was a great player. And they were down by, I think it was 2 runs or something in the 9th inning, and then he hit a home run. And I remember that elation feeling. That was the same feeling I got from Game 6 when I was at my dad there in '86. And I remember walking out of the stadium saying, "I'm so glad I didn't kill myself because I would have missed this."
I'm Tyler Ramsey. This is Painful Lessons Podcast. Painful Lessons, we own mistakes. And part of owning mistakes is owning things that once were a real liability and now have become my greatest superpower. Sobriety is something that is born out of a dependence on alcohol and drugs that I've overcome day to day and is now become my greatest superpower. And I'm leaning into something called punk rock sober. And I have a guest today who I think exemplifies punk rock sober more than anyone else. He solves murders. He catches murderers and brings them to justice. He's not a cop. He is just someone. He's a writer. He has an incredible book that's a fantastic way. I'm like blanking on the name. It was like
Chase Darkness with me.
Chase Darkness with me. Billy Jensen.
Thanks.
Yes.
Yeah. And I did, we will talk about this later, but I did get some punk rockness. I got some of my punk rock that I used to have back in the day. I got from the LAPD.
You were smashed. Okay. I don't want you to think that this is I'm introing this, but okay. I will just give you a taste of the context. You were smashed in a protest.
I was at an ICE protest
by cops. And
I was walking away and then the cop, poked me and then I looked back. And
okay. No more than this taste. No more than this taste. Because we're going to get to it.
Mm-hmm.
But because we know each other, mm-hmm. we're both in recovery.
Yeah.
You're the first person that we're going to do this with.
Okay.
I think I'm convinced that this is a killer way of a killer format
mm-hmm.
to this podcast. Is I'm going to give you can stop at any time, but I'm going to start with let's say a maximum of 10 minutes.
10 minutes. You'll do the timer.
Yeah. I'm going to
as we do in the meeting.
2 minutes before.
Yeah. All right. So, my name is Billy Jensen. I'm an alcoholic. And, so I got sober. I went to rehab on June 26th of 22. As a kid, wasn't that huge of a drinker. Had a lower middle class to middle class upbringing. My father was a heroin addict. He had kicked it, but then he got into pills, which were Darvon, which I don't even think they make anymore. And he would drink beer a lot. We'd drink beer on the way to games. I just thought that's what every parent did. And we would sneak beers into the games. My mother was an alcoholic as well. Never really put those together, but that was what it was. I fairly normal childhood. I had some, I unlocked some things actually in therapy. This is something that I've actually never sold before. So I had a problem where I was going to the bathroom too much when I was 5 years old, and they thought the teachers complained and they thought it was a big issue. So I went to the hospital and I had surgery to make my penis hole larger, which was so much that's like the unlocked trauma that I didn't know I had.
Wow.
And I remember the only thing I remember about it was that I was in basically a crib and I couldn't leave until I took a piss. So I think that messed me up for something that happened later in life, where once I hit right before 18, I started getting this pee problem again. I would call it the pee problem. And I I didn't want to go to college. I was getting ready to go to college. And that became like a big thing in my life, like going to so many doctors trying to figure out what it is. Originally, we thought it was interstitial cystitis, which affects only 90% of 90% women, 10% men. But I had everything that could imagine. And I think it was just so much when it gets inflamed, there's so much scarring down there from like, think about like 1970s
Yeah.
urology, you know what I mean? So, so after that, I would drink a lot to get rid of that pain, even though you're not supposed to drink with it. And on top of that fact, was diagnosed with depression and OCD when I was like 22. Again, these are not excuses; these are explanations. And I would drink a lot. I really started. I would drink. I was a social drinker. Drink a little bit at home, but once I came out to Arizona, I started working for Village Voice Media and New Times Media. It was a bunch of guys that loved to drink and write, and I bought into that, and I'd never had to buy my own drinks. And my boss loved to drink Macallan's. So he was just always drinking and I was always drinking. And then I just like Macallan's 18 too. It's just, yeah. And it was constantly. So I just got into that rhythm. And we had meetings in the bars. We had interviews in the bars. When I first went to the interview, I checked into the hotel. We were doing the interview and they had left 2 drink tickets for me. So it was that kind of hard drinking Irishman type of thing. But really great alternative journalism. And they owned LA Weekly at the time and Village Voice and Phoenix New Times. Yeah. So I bought into that and really started getting deep into that. Then I started drinking every day, started drinking at home, and I was drinking because there were certain things that you couldn't, with this, when I thought I had interstitial cystitis, and I still might, I couldn't have bubblies, so I would always, and you couldn't have brown liquor, so I would just do vodka. So I was drinking straight vodka. And yeah, and I was a very fast drinker. And because of that and being on Prozac, I blacked out a lot. And it was manageable. It was okay. I switched around jobs to jobs. Then I went to LA and I would find my apartments because I wanted to be near the bars. So I lived in, Los Feliz because I wanted to be near the drawing room in those bars. Toluca Lake because I wanted to be near those bars. And then eventually I bought a house up in the hills, which was far away from bars, which is good, but you could actually walk to the one of the liquor stores. By the way, that liquor store guy probably thinks I'm dead because like I used to go in there all the time and I'm not there anymore. So, I was just drinking out of control, really depressed, having a best-selling book, 2 top 50 podcasts, like 50 of all nation, the whole entire nation, not just in a category. And, was on a TV show, a couple TV shows actually. And, but I was suicidal and miserable, or at least suicide ideation. And, I was just drinking to turn off my head at home and drinking to be social outside. And, the first party after the pandemic, was a party for my network, my podcast network. And 2 months later, and I had drank way before that because we did a photo shoot for the podcast. 2 months later, I got a call from a lawyer saying there was 3 complaints about me. One that I hugged somebody too close, one that I put my arm around somebody and touched the bottom of their bra strap, and one that I grabbed somebody's butt. And I remembered like the first 2, did not remember the third at all. It's never something that I've done is grab somebody's butt. But I lost the podcast from that.
Oh my gosh. And it was a top podcast.
Top podcast, yeah. I was making about 250 a year, 200 maybe, yeah. And then there was this limbo period before, and I knew once the news came out, I'd be done. So the news came out, and behind the scenes, people were kind of building a case against me. People that I thought were friends that I had worked with, that were jealous of whatever I did with my career. This is a career that was for 25 years in the making. And as soon as like that news came out, like people that I thought were my friends just stopped, just 2 or 3 people just stopped following me and just started telling stories.
Oh man.
And one, had one false accusation against me. So I had to hire a lawyer for $1,000 and put out a statement with all these text messages and everything. And just like, and then, all my rules were out the window for drinking. They were all gone. They were all just like, forget about 5 waiting to 5 p.m. Forget about all this or that. So I was just got to a point within a 3-week period. It's like, I'm either going to kill myself. I'm either going to die from this drinking or I got to go to rehab. So June 26th, I went to rehab. And
What was there anything that happened on the day of June 26th?
no, I mean, I called, I had to set it up for 4 days ahead of time. And they said, how much you drink? And I was like, almost a bottle a day of probably Bullet or vodka. And they were like, well, don't stop. Like, you got to drink a little bit so you don't get the DTs.
Thanks.
Yeah. So I would drink, I remember I would have like 3 or 4 beers. And that last day, actually, me and my son the day before went to go look for a missing person, a kid that went missing in the desert outside of Phoenix. And just to put things into perspective. And then I went out to rehab up in Bayside, Marin. And it was good, but like at the same time, I was still getting some stuff thrown my way. So I had to have my phone on, not my phone on, but like I had my lawyer being able to contact me, so, and the lawyer would and then like I got a message from Rolling Stone. They were going to do a story. So Rolling Stone did a story because 2 people that I had, well, one person that I had made out with in a bar said I was like way too forward with her. And one person said I touched her hair. And they turned it into a big story. So that happened. And then I lost my book in rehab. So I got out of rehab and I wasn't drinking, but I was depressed as hell. And I was white knuckling it. And then finally, after 5 months, I said, I got to do this the right way. So I went and I looked for a sponsor and I was like, I've got to find a guy that looks like he can kick my ass.
Amazing.
And I found a dude, he was talking and I came up to him and I said, hey, I want what you've got. And he's a big muscle guy. And he's like, all right, you got to do everything I had to say. I was like, all right, I'll do it. So did that, really worked the program, worked all the steps, sent out, my amends, made my amends, cleaned up my side of the street. And then when it got really bad though, is that the 2 things happened. My mother died and then I had to switch meds. Like the meds weren't working anymore. So in between when I was switching between Prozac and trying to find the next thing, which turned out to be Zoloft, thank God, that was the worst part. And that was like 23
minutes.
23, thank you. 23, the fall. And you could tell it in my steps. You look at your steps, and like, I was doing 2,000 steps a day, which is like nothing. Yeah. And that was the worst time. And I talked to my sponsor. I said, can I do ketamine treatments? And we talked about it. And he said, yeah. And those really helped and let me, figure some things out that way. And then I was able to, the meds kicked in and I was able to pull out of it. And then just, doing 8,000 steps a day now on top of that. And just really realizing that I'm playing with house money now. My dad died at 50. He died of liver disease. He died of Hep C. I never foresaw my life over 50.
Yeah.
My kids are all grown.
Same.
I do have grandkids now, but my kids are all grown. And it's like, they're 25 and 27. And it's like, I never foresaw anything past this. So I'm playing with house money right now. And what am I going to do with that then? I've got investments. I've got some things going on that like money's, I'm not making that much money right now, but I still got my books. I'm writing a book right now. I'm not as big of a personality as I was before. My ego is like so in check now when it probably was off the charts back then. And my biggest thing is just trying to leave people better than the way I found them, whether that be somebody that I walk past on the street or somebody that I actually interact with, or, doing service or sponsoring or anything like that. So that's where I'm at right now.
Dude, I have a friend that you have helped his cousin.
Yeah, I think it was nephew.
Yeah, nephew.
Yeah.
He doesn't mind if I say his name's David Dastmalchian.
Yeah.
He's a hero of sobriety, and he needed help with somebody, and you were really helpful.
Yeah, I you had called me up and said, hey, can I give him your number? And I talked to David, and I reached out to his nephew, and I took him to a ball game.
Yeah.
It was during spring training, so I took him to a ball game, and I found that like baseball is like a really good sport to do that stuff with. It's very much you're just sitting there talking, waiting for something to happen.
Yeah.
And it's a great time to be able to do some fellowship and that kind of thing. And it was good.
Dude, okay. So on this podcast, this is a new format that we're kind of playing with. And the idea of this 10-minute share to open things, I'm telling you, what a banger. You crushed it. I mean, you, in some ways, you're a bit of a pro. like a bit of, what do they call it in
Yeah.
baseball? Where they,
Like a ringer or somebody?
yeah, you're a bit of a ringer. So you're a bit of a ringer.
It's the only thing I've ever been a ringer in, but yeah.
I mean, you're a great speaker. I already knew you were a great speaker, but man, it really, I mean, producer Jeremy, I think this, I mean, producer Jerry, I think this format hack is a great idea.
I dig it a lot.
Very excited.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's the reason why the meetings are, structured this way.
There's a reason why AA meetings are structured this way.
Yeah, and definitely it's like, I don't have, it's funny when you do AA meetings, especially mixed meetings, when you have NA people in there, the AA stories are always going to be not as interesting as the NA stories. The NA stories are always just wild, nobody really ever had
the slaw story's got to be pretty good.
Yeah. So it's just like,
Sex, love addiction.
I would drink. Yeah, those are good. Yes. And I would drink, and solve murders. That's basically what I did. That's the most interesting thing that I was doing. You got these other guys, man, with some of these stories, and it's just like, wow. And then the sex and love addiction ones, which I've gone to a couple meetings of those too. And I remember just like it was in Greenwich Village. No, it was in Chelsea. Oh, wow. And I was just like, it was a bunch of guys. It was one woman. It was a bunch of guys, and these guys are talking about how like they're having sex with multiple partners that are strangers a day. And I'm just like, wow. It's like, I want to be.
It's a good place. Good place to go when you need to recalibrate.
I like a good story. Some things have happened here. So I host meetings here, and we have a really great group of men, really amazing, and then I have so many friends in the sober community, and we had someone pass away just now. And it made me so excited to feel something a little bit less than powerless. And I thought, all I want to do is to bring more attention. If there's anything I can do to reduce the stigma so that more people seek treatment, this is kind of what I want to do with my life.
What did they die from, if you don't mind me asking?
Probably complications of, let's just say, the disease, but it also seemed to be a mental health. But specifically, he woke up at the bottom of a pool. Most wonderful guy ever. And he spent the last week of his life obsessed with helping someone else that had recently fell out.
Yeah.
Chased him all over the city, trying to get him into place. I mean, it's truly exhausted him probably. I mean, it's a kind of a heroic, in some ways it's a heroic story.
Yeah. It's really interesting when you are a sponsor of somebody, because listen, and detractors of AA meetings are always just like, oh, it's only 10% or 5% of the people that go. Yeah, a lot of that's because those are court appointed. They don't want to be there. You got to really want to be there in order for it to work. So throw that number out the window. But and a lot of times you'll get a sponsor. I mean, I've had more sponsors drop out than have stuck with it, just because that's what happens. And everybody will say that. But I've seen that. It's interesting. As a kid growing up, my favorite baseball player was Lenny Dykstra.
Okay.
And if you know anything about Lenny Dykstra, his nickname is Nails. He would play balls to the wall. He would dive. He would, sacrifice his body. He was a clutch hitter, and then he went on to do a bunch of businesses and things.
Sure.
But then he started messing up in his life, drugs and alcohol and bad business deals. He went to prison and all this stuff. He seems kind of clear-headed now. And I've been engaging with him a little bit more on Twitter. And I wrote to him and I was just like, dude, imagine what it would be like if you were sober, because he's a very smart dude. And I'm just like, and I bought his rookie cleats and his rookie mitt from him. And I was like, dude, I said, and his nickname is Dude, by the way, as well as Nails. And I just posted a picture and I was like, I will give you back your cleats if you let me take you to a meeting.
Amazing.
And he said, that's the best offer I've gotten so far.
Amazing.
So I want that to happen, because that would just be cool. And like one of his teammates who he still likes, Darryl Strawberry, is sober. I talked to Darryl a lot.
Darryl Strawberry is now a hero of sobriety.
Yep. And I think Doc is getting there, and he might be sober right now, but I know he's worked on it. Doc Gooden. And,
of course.
And yeah.
There's a great. I have it. I can't remember where I put it, but I have this great photograph of Doc Gooden, Darryl Strawberry, and Mike Tyson.
Tyson, yeah.
Oh my
It
god.
was like three like
Epic
the
photo.
young, and it's like I look at what the Mets really did not take care of those kids. They were kids. Doc Gooden was pitching at 19 years old, striking at 19 people.
The idea of having any kind of crazy fame at that age
in New York City in the 80s, where Coke was everywhere.
Oh gosh.
And and some people are like, well, should they have taken off his they retired his number.
Yeah.
Retired Doc and Straw. Oh, should they have done that? I was like, yeah, they should have, because you know what? They didn't have anybody watching them. They didn't have anybody taking care of them. And they both would be in the Hall of Fame right now, I think, if they would have had a little bit more of a handling of what to do.
Sure.
Doc went to his drug dealer's house and missed the parade after they won the World Series. That's insane,
Amazing.
Yeah.
What?
So
Ferrari attitude. Oh my God.
Yeah. And it's like, Doc is still cool. It's funny. I was on my buddy Harlan Friedman has a podcast, and I was like, we were talking about, baseball is so much more individualistic now, because you have like the walk-up songs and the warm-up songs, that you have your own theme song. I was like, what would Doc Gooden's be? And he's buddies with Doc. So we called him up and we started asking. He was saying like, he said good times, because it sounds like good times. Good times.
Oh my gosh, that is a catchy tune.
So I mean, it's I like to use baseball as an analogy just with my sobriety.
You do.
Just because I'm watching something that is a game. It's always been called a game of redeeming features, which is so AA. And also I'm not, as opposed to watching hockey, which I played, I can be like, oh, why'd you do that? Why'd you do that? You should have left it. Baseball, I was so bad at it as a kid that I don't do that. I just watch the game. I've let go of the actor scenario.
Sure.
I'm just letting it go, and I'm watching the game. Yeah, I'm going to cheer. I'm going to be upset or whatever, but it's just like, it's there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's 162 games a year, which is like really a lifestyle. You don't get that. Football's only, 16 games, 17
Dude,
games.
it's exciting to be in LA right now for baseball.
Yeah. Exactly.
Dodgers. Oh my
yep.
gosh.
So, the biggest scandal in baseball coming up is when they find out that.
Wait, you have that great analogy or metaphor where you say you had this moment where you were at a Mets game, and then all of a sudden you go, I could actually be dead. I'm so happy to be here because I could be.
It was after Pete Alonso hit the home run. It was very much a natural moment. Like he was going to be probably his last at bat as a Met. He was going to be looked at as a failure, even though he was a great player. And they were down by, I think it was 2 runs or something in the 9th inning, and then he hit a home run. And I remember that elation feeling. That was the same feeling I got from Game 6 when I was at my dad there in '86. And I remember walking out of the stadium saying, I'm so glad I didn't kill myself, because I would have missed this.
That was a spectacular story. I love that story. There's so many, there's so many. I also thought, you say you didn't think you'd be here after 50. I didn't think I'd be here after 35.
Mm-hmm.
And all of my heroes were like Chris Farley, Jim Belushi, Jim Morrison.
Jim Morrison was 27. Farley was 33. Well, Belushi was 33. God, Jesus was 33.
Jesus was 33.
Some
another
number
hero.
Where the majority of people that struggle with addiction die, like it's somewhere between like 27.
Well, the
33 is a big number.
It is.
Yeah.
And Club 27 obviously.
That's
is Janice.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Is Janice, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Remember, Janice she got a bad batch. Jimmy was choking on vomit.
Yeah.
Jim was heart failure.
No, I think Amy Winehouse also.
And Amy Winehouse is in there, and Brian Jones drowned from the Rolling Stones. He was out of the Rolling Stones at that point.
Was he the original bass player?
What did he drown?
He was a guitarist.
Guitarist.
What did he drown in?
A pool.
Oh yeah, that's what happened to my friend.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
Have you solved any new murders? Sometimes I don't think that I am good. One thing I want to work on is being better at creating a context for the guests.
Have you solved any?
If anyone came on, they didn't know. Like you're a journalist,
mm-hmm.
a writer, and on your own, you look at unsolved cases and you solve them and you bring murderers to justice.
Yeah.
And is the number still the same? 12?
I helped. I did 6 on my own. Like
Okay.
6 is the number, and then it's gotten up to 12 with like giving them a piece of the puzzle or something like that.
A dozen.
Yeah.
A dozen.
And
murders.
I haven't done as much as I wished I could because A, it costs money to do. And I was pouring a lot of money into it because you got to buy these geo-targeted advertising. B, Facebook was so good for it. And nobody uses Facebook anymore. So I use Instagram, and Twitter is shit now. So it's like Instagram is usually the best thing to try and use it. And, going on, I did I talked about it on Army's show.
Yeah.
And for this kid that was killed in Philadelphia. And I put together a video, and then he shared it on the Army Harmer Time. We collabed on it, and just to try and which would be cool too. It'd be cool if like Army helped solve a murder. I think that would be cool as well. Yeah.
Oh, of course.
So we're still looking for that.
You're still looking for this guy. What's the deal with this guy? I mean, I watched
that was a kid that he was coming home from a board game night, and he some kid just walked with a mask on, walked right past him, turned around, shot him in the back of the head, and then started running, and then shot him as he was running away.
Fuck. Shot him in the back of the head. Oh yeah, then gave him another shot.
Get him another shot while he was running. Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the clues right now?
Eric Beauregard. Yeah. The best.
What's his name?
Eric Beauregard.
Okay.
Yeah, and the best clues are, it was in the Drexel neighborhood of Philly. The best clue is he looks like a young black male, kind of skinny, slight. I've sent over a couple that looked really, really good.
Of stills
of possible suspects.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing is that he's wearing kind of all black, so there's nothing identifying with them. And the Philly Police Department actually does a really good job of identifying clothes on there. Like they'll run a video and then they'll stop it and then they'll do an arrow and they'll say Adidas, and that kind of thing, which nobody does. Actually, I got to give them props for that. And
we're looking for someone with Adidas.
Yeah,
clothes.
who do you know that has have you seen these pants in there before? Yeah.
Okay.
That kind of thing. And that's one of the things that, like with the Charlie Kirk shooter, it's just like as soon as you see like the stuff that the person is wearing, same thing happened with the Boston Bombers with the
BillyJensen.com is the best place to go if you want to help solve this
murder.
Yeah.
But really it's not about
it's so horrible. It's as horrible as that beautiful Ukrainian girl that was killed on the subway. It's that horrible.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, that was horrendous.
Horrible.
That was horrendous. And
so horrible.
I knew everybody was given it was one thing. It was like nobody could have ever stopped that. That just you know what I mean? Tackling the guy might have been something that somebody could have done, but like stopping that would have been, nobody even knew what was going on.
I think I would have tackled him.
After though.
That happened.
Yeah.
So
it happened so fast. That
he got lucky too. He clearly just immediately cut a vein or something.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, what a terrible, horrible story.
So
I wanted to see that guy eaten by a lion.
They're bringing that back. They're bringing back execution by lions, I heard. No, I don't know.
Really? Where can I go?
Jerry's like, really? Can I, is that going to be pay-per-view?
I don't really want that, but it's just, gosh,
I just feel like there needs to be some freaking penalties for so much messed up stuff.
Something so terrible, it even scares crazy people.
Yeah.
Dude.
That's tough to do. There will never be a penalty big enough to scare a crazy person because they're crazy.
When someone is in psychosis, I had to deal with someone in psychosis just now. Oh gosh. Oh man. It's really kind of traumatic just to hear how far someone can be from reality.
Yeah.
And you're like, you're a healthy person. Everyone is not following you. What are you talking about?
Boy, there's been a few of them running around the neighborhood lately. I've had 3 encounters with people that are out of their fuck.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah.
It is so, it's kind of terrifying. It's like,
yeah. So, now I'm just, so 2 weeks ago, I was in Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii before. It was great.
It's amazing.
I was there to because I see you gallivanting everywhere.
I gallivant.
And my sponsor too. So it's like two of the guys that I know in the recovery community are like jet setting. And so
I'm a jet setter.
I see I was there partially to spread my grandfather-in-law's remains.
Cool.
Because he had served there and everything. And for some reason I was on Twitter. I'm hardly ever on Twitter. I was on Twitter and I'm reading this J.K. Rowling just like hateful stuff about trans people. And I was like, hey, can you possibly lend your voice to help fighting fascism because we're having a moment here? And I just said, man, whatever. And just like, all right, I just did that because she was just kind of ticking me off, obviously. And then, because she follows me for some reason. Like she followed me like 10 years ago. She started following me, which was like awesome. I didn't know why she was doing that. And, I was excited when she first started doing it,
Listen, I want you to know, I don't think she's a hateful person. We have different opinions about this.
I mean, okay. All right. But okay. So here he goes. So then she writes back to me and she said, oh, thank God we have you being in the trenches with bullets flying over your head. What would we do without you or something? Right. And then somebody else says something. And then she says, yeah, good thing we have Billy Jensen tweeting about baseball out here.
Wow.
If we only had him during the Blitz. And so
wait, J.K. Rowling said that?
Yeah. So now I got my Irish up and I'm like, I was too young for the Blitz, but my grandfather did go over to protect your country from Czech's notes fascism, which is what happened, right?
Yes.
And then all of her minions, started attacking me and everything. And like, this is somebody that is,
dude. I think it's amazing that J.K. Rowling is trolling you.
But it's funny too, because I think, I was pretty proud of my comeback because it was like, she's mentioning the Blitz, even though she also was mentioning trench warfare, which is a different war. But just the fact that our grandparents all did go over there. But the better one would have been because she mentioned baseball. It's like, do you realize we sent every one of our best baseball players over to fight fascism? We sent Ted Williams and DiMaggio and Yogi Berra is at D-Day,
D-Day.
Yeah. It's crazy. So and one of the things that's really interesting about getting so many people worked up with that and some other things that I've tweeted about is being called a dick sucking faggot now is like a new thing. That's an old thing. Obviously it used to be, that was the big thing in the 50s, 60s, 70s. It was like, that's going to attack your manhood by saying that. Now, though, you see it's the bots that are doing it too, calling you a faggot and a dick sucking faggot. So it's like,
but you got to say F get or because we're going to this will slow down the whole episode.
Okay.
So Jerry, you got to find those two.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll redo it again. Actually,
no, it's okay.
No, we don't.
Okay,
but
all right.
It's like, how would you say it? The F word that ends in get or something like that.
Yeah. The 3-letter F word.
You can bleep it enough.
The 3-letter F word. Yeah, and It's a little concerning just because you have the bots now. So somebody either trained the bots to use that as a pejorative against people that are writing against, Trump or whatever, but they also are the bots using AI to learn that as well.
They're watching us say it and they're learning.
But it's weird because people that went out of style kind of a little bit,
Then all of a sudden that word started to mean something totally different. And now you're saying it's going back to that.
The word, you would see the word, faggy that meant like lame or something like that.
Yeah.
But then it was like, no, you can't use that word at all when the, sort of the woke police started happening. It was just like, that's a bad thing. And of course, obviously, that the word faggot comes from a bundle of sticks when they used to burn people at stake. Yeah. That's where that comes from.
Bundle of sticks.
So, but it seems like it's going back to they're not calling me lame. They're calling me somebody that actually sucks dick. So I found that interesting. And then, so I sort of had the baseball and fascism thing on the brain.
Okay.
So when I was going to go to the Dodger game and I made a shirt that said baseball against fascism, because that was sort of in there. Also, a lot of my friends that are Yankees fans, not a lot, like 3, but that's a big number, put all their Yankee stuff in a box and put it away after like Trump talked to the Yankee, visited the Yankees and the Charlie Kirk thing that happened there. So I was just like, all right, that's not, I just want to do baseball against fascism. I'm not saying anybody's a fascist or whatever. I just want to put that in there. I wore the shirt to the protest. I went to the protest, right? The No King's Day. No King's Day was great. I had a sign, and my sign said, "It's never too late to be the hero." Because
okay, wait. I'm just gonna slow down.
Yeah,
because now we're moving towards what I think is a huge thing. You came to town.
I came to town.
Participate in the.
I didn't come to. I came to town to watch baseball and to go on your podcast.
Okay, cool.
I happened to be in, and see friends, but I happened to be there for that. And I was like, oh, I'll go.
I'll go to the No Kings rally.
Yeah, in downtown. Yeah, I was going to go to the Phoenix one if I was in Phoenix,
which you have an amazing story about. Okay.
Yes. So so I'm wearing that shirt, and my sign said, "It's never too late to be the hero," just because the back of the sign says it's still a beautiful world. I want to be positive, and I think anybody can redeem themselves. Sure. I don't know if you've seen this. Who's this guy that's running for Senate or whatever with the tattoo? You know that guy. That the tattoo.
Senate.
Well, what is he running for?
I don't know.
Yeah, and he's got a tattoo that looks very similar to a Nazi tattoo.
Okay.
And he's saying, he's not necessarily being. I was having a conversation with somebody else who's in recovery. We were doing it over there, and it's like we're both in recovery. People can change.
People can change. Yeah.
And as long as, but in order to change, you have to be honest about who you were before. In order to change. So yeah, Graham Plattner. Democratic candidate for U.S. Senate in Maine, acknowledged having a tattoo that resembles a Nazi SS symbol.
Okay.
So listen, let's explore that then, and then if you really are a good person, these aren't marks that are on you forever. People can change.
People can change.
That's the whole story of Saul and Paul.
Sure.
So that's why I brought that sign. So I was. And there was a lot of there was sort of two protests that were going on. No Kings was a lot of love, a lot of humor, a little bit of anger, but it was mainly a lot of white people.
All the photos I've seen.
A lot of white people. Then though, white people go away. We walk down to the detention center. That was an ICE protest. So the detention center is the ICE protest then.
Okay.
And because that's where all of the ICE detainees are. And I was just like, all right, I'm going to check this out. I had my sign up and everything. And, there's a standoff. There's the police right there, and there's the police right there. There's a couple things that happened that I saw that were not sitting well with me. The first is that, they're jarring at the police. They're saying you're a traitor to your people, everything like that. Listen, they signed up for the job. That's what happened. There was a police tape. The police tape dropped, right? And everybody is yelling can we bring back the police tape? And they won't do it. They won't put the police tape back. That was an escalation because every time somebody just even straddled the police tape, if the crowd kind of moved you and there's no place to go and you got to move over, you would straddle that and then they would push the person pretty hard. The police would push the person back. Let's just like that. And then everyone would go, whoa. And then people go,
Yeah.
This happened 3 or 4 times. One time, a guy in a inflatable shark costume was bouncing around, right? Bounced over the line, got the push, went way back, which is so weird to see a cop pushing a shark. And then there was a girl next to him, and she kind of stepped up, natural reaction, and then she got pushed.
Okay.
But then nothing jumped off after that. I've been at protests, particularly the one in Palmdale during BLM, where there was a black kid that was found hanging in the town square. I don't know if you remember that story. In 2020. And they had said, we don't know what happened. There are no cameras. And I'm a person that uses cameras all the time. So I'm just like, I'm going to drive up there. So I drove up there during the pandemic and counted all the cameras and then talked to the people, say, where's the video and all that. And then they, got into it with the mayor and things. But so I've seen it. That was going to jump off. That felt like something's bad's going to happen at that protest that was happening. I didn't get that feeling at all. There's some people here or there, but I didn't get the feeling like, oh, this is going to get dark. No. And it starts filtering out. The one thing that I remember that'll stay with me forever, and I've interviewed so many victims' family members. I've interviewed people at the kitchen tables that, their daughters have been murdered. I've never heard a scream like this one girl that was screaming, "Let my people go." And it was just like, it wasn't performative. It was just her, like the way that even her voice started lilting towards the end of it, And I'll send you the video. And I was just like, you know what? I'm going to stick around to the end of this thing. And so after what I'm told is that the bird looks down and says, all right, that's enough. That's not, there's amount of people there that is going to be controllable. Let's do it. So they start pushing. I didn't hear a thing to say, hey, you got to go. But then they start moving. It's like, okay, we're going. And they start pushing us down Alameda. I was going to walk down Alameda, but then they cut off Alameda. So they cut off the crowd to split the crowd up. So one of the crowds goes to Alameda. One of them goes down to Commercial Street. If you're familiar with downtown. So I was like, all right, we're going down Commercial Street, but they gave us the horses to go down Commercial Street. Okay. So, and I think the idea is that the people in the back who weren't at the front of the line, they went over there. They got the foot soldiers. The people going this way, those are the people at the front of the line. Obviously, it might be the agitators. They're going to get the horses. So I'm walking I think I held up my sign once, maybe whatever. And then I'm just walking. I'm just like, all right, this is done, over. And then I hear a clop, and then I feel this, what I think is a horse right next to me, right? And then I feel a poke, and I think the horse bit me. Because I go like this, and then the horse starts moving me into the wall. And I look up, and there's a cop and he's got his baton over his head. And these batons are like not regular baton; they're like katana swords. They're like that big, yeah.
Okay.
And he's got his hand over, and I like went around the horse, right? So I went underneath the horse, and I looked up at him like, what the hell kind of thing. I might have said it or not, whatever, but I was like, what the hell? And then I just kept walking. Meanwhile, everybody else is like, there were on the other side of the line, there was like kids that were walking backwards and giving them the finger and everything. And there's flashbangs going off. They are shooting that kind of thing. So then right when I go off, right? And then I feel, one hit right here, like a little thing. I feel another one. I'm like, there's another horse biting me. I look over, then there's a horse is right there. And then I look up and I just see the guy's eyes, and he comes down on me. Boom.
Whoa.
Yeah. So he got me right here. And,
oh my gosh.
This is now, here's the thing. So this was
it looks Saturday. Like a tattoo.
Yeah.
Wow,
ironically, gnarly. In November, I was going to get a tattoo right here.
Right there.
And I probably can't now. And I was talking to my tattoo artist. Yeah, I was getting a Manchester B down here. Yeah. But I was interviewing, I was interviewed by the guy at New York Taco, LA Taco is a nice guy. Yeah. And he was saying how your arm looks big. Like, I know you're not jacked that way. I was like, fuck you, dude. I work out or whatever. You know what I mean? But then I woke up this morning and I looked at my arm, and then I was just like, I'm not flexing here. And my arm's not like that. You know what I mean? Wow. I was like, what is that? And I could feel it's like, that's a big giant bruise right there.
Yeah.
And people are like writing me. I posted it online. Like, you got to go to the hospital.
You paintball and you can get bruises like that.
Yeah. This very much feels a little bit like a paintball bruise, but they're just like, that might be a blood clot. It's a hematoma. Go to the hospital. And I'm not doing that shit. But
don't go to the hospital. But dude, solid. You are very punk rock sober.
Yeah, this is punk rock sober right here. You
were literally punk rock.
And here's the thing. And then Jane
Fonda style.
Then I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't. Jane Fonda was agitating, and I can be a dick. I can be an agitator. I wasn't this time. Okay. I was literally just walking away. And I'll be the first one to admit when I'm trying to agitate.
Dude, and how were you not more aware of a horse next to you?
They come up so fast. They're just like, boom, right on it. And listen, I'm only telling this story the way it is because I saw the video.
Yeah.
This happened so fast, if you would have asked me, I would have said one cop hit me the whole time, but it was two cops. Like, I would have had no idea. Just
was it surveillance video, or what was it?
What's that?
Was it surveillance video?
Not surveillance, just cell phones. And they're all over the place, so it's all wild, and it's all like, you can see him poke me and then poke me again. And then right when he was a lefty too. So right when he goes to do it, like, he was waiting for me to turn around so he could hit me. So right when he went to do it, like, somebody moved the camera, and that happened like 4 times. I'm like, and then yesterday I found an actual one where I do get hit.
So they're allowed. I mean, they must be given at least some permission. Yeah, just get them out of the way.
I don't know. A lot of people like sue this, and I'm not going to do. Listen, if somebody, my biggest thing is this. This guy was itching for it. I think some of the other cops were doing fine. They were just like, this is my job. I'm going to do it.
He's like, I haven't hit anyone all day.
Yeah. And it was like, if they would have just taken an extra 3 minutes, none of this would have happened.
That really tall white guy is a great target.
Let's get and I was wearing the baseball against fascism shirt, which is bright yellow.
Oh gosh.
Which I got, by the way. Sorry to people in LA, but I got that as the colors of the Brewers.
Big banana, that's mine.
Basically, it was like, that's the tall white guy. And quite frankly, I can hit him better because everybody else is a foot shorter than me, and I would hit their head. Here, I can get him here.
Ooh.
But like, what if I bent down? My big thing is, I've taken slashes worse than this on the ice, but and ironically, this is like the exact place where there is no padding on the ice too.
Oh, funny.
You know what I mean? So it's like, you've got an elbow pad that usually goes up to here. It's usually right here. It's a little bit below.
Shoulders.
Right here is where, in between the shoulder and the, if you would have hit me here, it would have broke. I know that. Yeah. But this was pretty fleshy. Yeah. And
I see videos in India. Those guys just whack, whack. But those are almost like bamboo style.
Yeah.
Like,
I have a feeling that the way that this sounded a little bamboo-y. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I'd like to see it, because he hit me and then he hit somebody right away.
You said the video is
still the video. Yeah, I'll give you the video. Yeah.
I want to see it.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, you can have it. And then
actually, we should cut it in, Tyler.
Yeah, I've got permission too from the guys that shot it.
Oh, great.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
So then, one of the things that pissed me off.
Send the video to us.
I will.
So we have it.
One of the things that really pissed me off, other than the fact, but was two things. One, this could happen to somebody else. For me, it's like, I can take it. I don't care. I'm 53 years old. I'm playing with house money.
Yeah.
This could happen to somebody else, and they could really get hurt. The second thing was, when I got back and the adrenaline wore off, I sat down and I said, I really need a drink. And I haven't had that thought in probably 18 months.
Wow.
And then I was like, I thought about calling my sponsor. I knew he was away for a little bit. And then I just opened up the big book, and I just like read a couple passages, like deep in the back too. And I was just like, all right, I'm calmed down a little bit, but I was just like pissed at myself for thinking that, and pissed at this guy for sending me down that path. So, like, I'm somebody that I accidentally drank a sip of an alcoholic beverage at Citi Field, and I went into the bathroom and made myself throw up. Yeah, it's just like, it's like, those are the nightmares that we have. Yeah.
Oh, I have nightmares that I'm in the middle of a relapse all the time. And
exactly.
And I'll wake up and I'm so stressed about it.
Yeah.
But then I eventually get overwhelmed with gratitude that I'm not in that situation.
Oh, that and like getting a weird tattoo, getting like crazy tattoos.
I've never
like the last time I had a thing about that I relapsed.
I've never had that.
I had like, for some reason, I got like a giant Galactus from Marvel like tattoo all the way down my side. I was like, I'm not even a Marvel guy. I'm way more of a DC guy, A. But B, it was just like, where did that come from? I think Silver Surfer was there too. And I was just like,
dude, that's a funny ass.
Then you wake up and you're just like, wow, I'm glad that didn't happen.
Oh my gosh, that's a hilarious nightmare. What the hell?
Exactly.
Why did I do that? Galactus.
That was only the front. I could have had a tramp stamp.
And it says Galactus is #1. I don't even feel that way about Galactus.
Yeah,
that's a great nightmare. All the time, not all the time. A couple times, maybe a month, I'll have this dream that I have, for whatever reason, have kind of accidentally had a couple of drinks, and then I'm in a situation where I go, oh my gosh, nobody's gonna believe that I did this on accident. And I was gonna be so disappointed. And now I have to hide it because I didn't mean to. I'm gonna hide it, even though I shouldn't. I should just tell the truth about it. And then now I'm in this dilemma, and I'll wake up, be like, why am I in this situation? And I'll be like, no, I'm in bed. Okay, I'm uncomfortable. And I also have almost 5 years of sobriety. And I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good to have those dreams.
I don't have a dumb Galactus.
You don't have a dumb Galactus. Yeah. So
it's a funny tattoo idea.
Yeah, fear. So ridiculous.
It's a funny phobia. You know what I've learned that I do have a phobia of is there's two things. One is confined spaces, dying in a cave or something.
Yeah, that's one of mine, dude.
People that go there. I've been watching these videos.
Oh, that one video with the guy that was going through the thing.
Oh gosh, yeah. The poor kid on his 18th birthday that goes and digs into a cave. So,
Yep.
and then it's stuck and they can't get him out
I
without
can't
breaking
take
his whole body.
That Ryan Reynolds movie where he's buried in a coffin.
Oh,
alive.
terrible. I have seen that. And
Gives me
it's
such
terrifying.
anxiety.
He only has like a lighter or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
Well, they
and
kill
then-
Bill too.
Right.
You know?
Oh yeah. The other thing that I have a phobia is ticks. I think I'm
Ticks.
Yeah, I don't want Lyme disease.
I've got 2 or 3 friends with Lyme disease, and it just sticks with them forever. It's like
It doesn't go away.
It doesn't. And my dad got it.
They say that bee stings, a lot of
Really?
bee stings will. Yeah.
My dad got it while painting Billy Joel's old house. How 80s is this? Billy Joel had sold it to the guy that owned Bugle Boy Jeans. Remember Bugle Boy Jeans?
Yeah.
My dad was painting that house and he got it. And it messed him up for a while. But yeah, I've got a couple friends
It
that
never
are
goes away.
actresses that it doesn't go away.
It gives you there's a story of someone that had Lyme disease and their nurse, they go, listen, I'm ready, I want to just end it. And they got a kind of a nurse, like anyway, like a Dr. Kevorkian type thing. The nurse wheels this person out. All of a sudden they're attacked by killer bees. The Dr. Kevorkian type runs off, leaves this person to be stung and stung and stung, almost dies, but doesn't die. No more Lyme disease.
Wow.
And I know, I guess I only know one other
unbelievable.
person that has got rid of her Lyme disease by constantly stinging herself in the back with bees.
No
Interesting.
kidding.
Pretty amazing, right?
I
Yeah.
will suggest that to my friends. I don't necessarily know if
It's called bee sting therapy. I did
It's a good name.
Chat GPT. I go, is it because I was talking to someone about it? They go, that's not true. I did Chat GPT, and Chat GPT said, this isn't true, but listen, I've seen otherwise. The story that I can't.
Well,
confirm, and the
ChatGPT is
story I
just
can
looking
confirm.
at internet data. So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, where we're at as a society right now is we are probably, at least in the modern world, we're at the kind of worst place that we've been. The unfortunate thing is that
We're
I
not.
don't think it's going to get better.
I disagree.
Here's the
glory. We're in a
I don't.
technology is so fun.
Yeah, but it's taken away
Hot
everybody's jobs.
showers are amazing.
Hot showers. No, I'm talking about since the hot showers. I blame. I blame.
Have
the
you
internet.
got in a hot tub recently?
I blame
Delightful.
I blame the internet, man. The internet. Here's what happened. The internet came out. We thought it was going to democratize knowledge, but then the algorithm is what. Because back in the day, and listen, yes, I'm a newspaper guy.
I saw
Could
a
it be-
video of this guy breaking his leg, falling down skiing down, and it was just about the funniest thing I've ever seen. Way to go, internet! I never
Sure,
would have seen
okay.
this amazing video.
All right, but as far as like when you used to get a newspaper, right?
Okay.
People would read the newspaper, not so much cover to cover, but they would be able to see every story. And they would see it and they would like maybe read the first 2 lines. I don't want to read that. I want to get like this or that, right? You get so much of a more worldview by doing that. With the algorithm is feeding you stories that they think you want. That is
And make you mad.
And on top of all that, forget about the mad stuff. I'm just talking about the stuff that you actually will ever see. That I think is the huge problem there. And not having, I think that as far as America goes, I can't speak to other places, but just being a student of America, from like 1950, and this is for white people, by the way, 1950 to 2005, I think that was the good times. Where did that go after that? I think the internet messed a lot of things up. Can it get better? The problem is that I don't see where the jobs are going to be. I mean, the 50s and 60s and 70s, we were still making things here too. And Trump is trying to put the toothpaste back in the tube, which might not be able to be done, in terms of manufacturing stuff here.
Yeah, hopefully.
I would love for that to happen, because I think that's also one of the places that it went down. And it's also, it's an odd thing that's going on, because you have a lot of guys like blue collar workers. Their identity was, I'm in a union and I'm like a Ford guy, especially up in the Rust Belt. I'm in the union, I'm a steel guy. I'm a union, I'm this, and which was great, Unions got really powerful, and then like the
greedy,
and then they got a little too greedy. There was a lot of stuff that was going on there, and then they both, fucked each other over in terms of the people at the corporations and
Totally.
and then they just went, all right, we're just going to make it over there. And it made people that had an identity for, I was a Ford guy, and now they're working at, in a service industry or something like that. It's just not, you're not like, I'm really into Bennigan's or whatever.
Big change.
Bennigan's isn't even a place anymore. I don't know why I said that. But yeah, so I'm not too thrilled with what's going on. But you know what? But the one thing I do say is
the most badass person at Bennigan's.
We are their baked potato soup was great. We are made for this though in recovery. Like recovery people are made for all of this stuff that's going on, as well as the fact that we can have conversation. I'll give you a perfect example. While all of this stuff was going on, somebody sent me a DM, not even a comment, but a DM saying, "You're an effing idiot. Your mother should have aborted you." Okay. And I'm like, all right, that's kind of weird to say that to me, especially if you're conservative and you're saying abortion. You know what I mean?
There's so much mental illness.
So then I look at his page though. I'm like, I want to see who said this. I look at his page. I see he's in recovery. So I write to him. I was like, "Hey man, I'm a friend of Bill's too. Got 12. He's like, "Yeah, congratulations. I got 31 years." So now we found that common bond that we've both been through a certain amount of hell together.
Yeah.
And I wrote to him. I was like, "Hey,
what was with that one comment?"
I was just like, "Hey, what's you seem like a successful guy. I think as a realtor. What's going on? Like, why? What's going on with you? Just speak to me. And like, I'll do that. I'll do that with anybody.
Because I genuinely feel you would have been better off if you had been aborted.
Yeah,
we've said so many. I'm so nervous about the YouTube algorithm thing being like, there are like 100 things that you've said that we do not like. Do you know that one? It wouldn't let me buy advertising for an episode because it said that we mentioned like Trump or something, or just said the word malection that doesn't start with M. And it goes that what you're trying to do is mess with the yes.
Yeah. I think here's one of the things I think should happen. There should be a law that if you want to be able to comment on a site, on anybody's profile or anything like that,
can't be anonymous.
That, and you have to have your Google search history public.
Oh, dude. Never.
Yes.
Never.
You know what I mean? I don't think I'd be being called a dick sucking bag.
Oh my gosh. Never. Oh gosh. You're right. I mean, listen, I can't tell you how much I don't agree with that with anyone. Oh my God, the idea that everyone, I'd be like, it's explaining things for the day. Listen, I was just real curious.
I was researching
what the thing is. If you are trying to find someone in Thailand, I'm not trying to go to Thailand, but it's like, I watch these videos and they have all these people standing there. And then these people are like, on vacation. And it seems like they've gone on vacation just for that. So it's just an interesting subject, but I'm not trying to do that. No. I was having the funniest conversation with my wife about this. Yeah. I was like,
"What did you think Lady Boys meant?" I just thought it was a guy, like a tomboy.
I was just curious about the community.
Like sports. I don't know.
It's funny. Dude, I love you. We are at
love you too.
A time.
I love you too, man. I love you, Jerry.
I hope you come back,
bro.
For number one, come back in town soon.
You'll definitely come to a meeting. Yeah. You know what I found? LA has bad memories for me. This is where all my shit went down. But so I don't like Hollywood. I don't like the Valley.
Yeah.
I'm not really a big fan of the West Side, but I love downtown.
Right.
And so I stay particularly like in the Old Bank section. So which is really like, you're just surrounded by street people. You don't, and a little bit of the government workers over there, but right around there. And it just feels so genuine in a town full of a lot not genuine stuff. It and you feel like you're in an episode of Dragnet from back then. You're in 1947.
Fun idea.
So I dig that area. Just don't walk with your headphones on or looking at your phone.
Yeah.
And I will say this before we go. I once, when I was heavily drinking, in between the time that like I lost the job and then the news came out, I was like, oh, I'm going to be Batman. And I went to Kohl's. Remember Kohl's, the roast beef place that's actually closing?
Yeah.
Had a bunch of drinks. I was like, I'm going to patrol the streets. And I did it for like 5 hours. I walked around like trying to find somebody. Yeah, I didn't find anything. Yeah.
A friend of mine was getting to the place where he was becoming obsessed with the idea of ending it.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing would make him laugh or smile. And I got into my head that a way to make him smile would be able to like become Batman and just eventually stumble upon something that's too dangerous. And then that's a good way to go. And he ended up laughing.
I 100% have had that thought. And that was what I was doing, you know?
Amazing.
Yeah. That was definitely what I was doing. That's what we should have done with, you know who loved Batman more than anything?
Who?
The guy from Friends.
Matthew Perry.
Matthew Perry was a huge Batman fan. Huge. Had a ton of stuff in his He should have just dressed up. He had the money. He could have done it. He could have dressed up and gone around.
Instead of falling asleep in his hot tub, he should have just become Batman.
Oh my God. Yeah.
What a terrible way to go. But he had those hyenas that were those jackals that
awful.
were taking advantage.
Did you see those text messages? Like we're getting
horrible. Horrible. They should be eaten by lions. All right, we're done. Peace.